Hey, how you doing there? Henry Olsen here from Super Simple Guitar, and welcome to the first ever 5-Minute Friday. So the idea is short and simple. Every Friday, I'm going to be sending out a video that's about 5 minutes long, sometimes a little bit shorter, sometimes a little bit longer, that's going to teach you interesting little tips and tricks that you can do and build upon and make your own, okay? So you're going to see as we go week by week, these aren't just going to be lessons that you're going to take, learn, and be done with. It's really things that are concepts more and that you can then build upon and make your own and improvise a lot with, okay? So for the first couple of lessons here, the first couple of weeks, we're going to be focusing on some Hendrixy style chords, chord embellishments that Hendrix would like to do a lot, both 6th string, right? Root note focused, and 5th string, root note chords and embellishments that you can do to those chords and triads, okay? So without further ado, let's just get into our first lesson. There is also going to always be a tab included. So if you want to get that tab, it's linked in the description under this video or above this video, depending where you're watching this. And you're also going to get a copy of my picture chord book that's going to show you all about these movable chords if you don't know where they are or how movable chords work, right? So that is in the description. Make sure to go download that so it's easier for you to follow along. Okay, next time I'm not going to talk this much. I just wanted to explain it for the first little series, first little session. So let's just get into it. So if you visualize your D major chord, bar chord, I'm on the 10th fret. What you can do is you can take off a couple of these notes. If you just visualize this big chunk, within this chunk you have these nice little smaller triads, right? Groups of 3s or groups of 4s, right? Or groups of 5s, right? Different possibilities within that chunk. But what we're going to be focusing now is the first 4 strings, okay? So just imagine you're removing these 2 notes. What's left is this, right? You're going to have to finger it differently. But now what you can do is within this fret, if you visualize this fret, your pinky has access to the first 3 strings on the 12th fret, right? So the fret that it was always in, if you visualize this chunk that we now have when we remove those other notes, now your pinky has a ton of possibilities that it can do, right? And not just your pinky, you could also slide into there, you know, there's all kinds of different things, but let's just focus on this one lick for today. So again, we're taking this out of a D major chord, a D major bar chord piece, right? And the lick is going to sound like this. Right? Okay, so I might have made a couple mistakes there. It's hard to talk and play at the same time. But anyways, yeah, so what we're doing here is, like I said, in this box, you can do these cool little embellishments to these first 3 notes, right? So the lick that I came up with today goes like this. We're going to bar down the 1st and 2nd string, and then we're going to hammer on to the 1st string, 12th fret. And you might have noticed I'm doing a pretty aggressive picking kind of technique here. So I'm muting out with my palm, with my right palm, I'm muting out the notes, all the notes except for when I get to those 2 that I want, right? And that's giving me this dramatic effect, and it sounds really cool, I think, right? Okay, so that's what you could try to do. If not, then just hit those 2. It'll also sound fine. So hammer on that, release, and then just play the notes. Then grab this, which is also, of course, in that chord, and then go for that sus4, and then end it off on the root. So, okay, so that's the lick. And then we're just going to do the same thing on the C. Again, that C is again a part of this big chunk, right? So then we're going to end it off on a G. Right? So, okay. So that's basically the lesson, okay? So now what I want you to do is take this idea and try to experiment with it and make it your own, right? So maybe a song that you're already playing, let's say it goes G, D, C, D. You could play your G normally, D normally, and then when you go to C, try to do that little move. When it goes to the D, try to do that move, or kind of do little embellishments or slight alterations to it, right? So you're taking a concept and then improvising and adding in little chunks, little pieces, little phrases that's going to make songs that you're already playing sound really cool, okay? So again, the tab is going to show you just that from D to C to G, but then take those ideas, take those notes, and try to implement them on songs that you're already playing. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I hope that you're going to have as much fun with it as I do. So that's the first 5-Minute Friday. I hope that this made sense. If it did, make sure to give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe if you haven't yet, and always make sure to get that tab as well, of course, because it's going to help you follow along. And when you get my book, make sure to read my book if you haven't yet, because there's a lot of really helpful information in there as well, okay? So that's about that. Henry Olsen here. Thank you for hanging out with me. Have a great weekend. Take it easy. Bye-bye.